I'll set it up. Just serving up. I might put too much rice out, maybe. 5:45. You show me your clothes. Oh, okay. Hello Honeybunches, welcome back to another vlog. Meant to start at 4 now, it's Wednesday, nearly midday. I've just been busy, I guess, ticking off things on my list that I kind of want to do before I go back to uni next week. It's my last week of holidays, probably technically ever, because this is my last semester coming up, and then it's just life. I'm currently cooking some Pinterest found recipes. I think they're both gonna be delish. They might turn into future recipes. That was like a tofu satay noodle type of salad. Always gonna turn out pretty good. The dressing is nice, which is important. And then this like lentil rice veggie bake thing, super homey, but I hope it has enough flavor, fingers crossed, is in the oven, browning up. This morning I filmed the film essay part to One More But Vegan that I'm gonna fit in before going back to uni. Maybe I'll keep that a surprise. What else have I got up to? On Sunday I saw Booksmart, which I really like. I really like the depiction of female friendship, super refreshing. Wasn't like my favourite coming of age film ever. I think that still stands to be 8th grade or Pincushion. But yeah, would totally recommend if you haven't seen it. It needs to brown some more. I really liked also in Booksmart how much more realistic like the female friendship thing was, but also like just high school. I mean, obviously I've never been to high school in America, but it's kind of nice, hopefully, that we're moving away from coming of age films that have like everyone in cliques, like social groups, like the geeks, the jocks, the popular girls, the goths, etc. Like, I was thinking about this last night. That is such an unhealthy experience to go through, or thing to plant in the minds of young people in films. Like, what is it teaching you? you need to stay with your people, and if you don't know who they look like, then look in the mirror, is essentially what it's saying. That's not promoting inclusivity and diversity and just celebration of difference, you know? I don't know when that was first depicted in screen, probably since like early films, 70s, 80s, 50s, I don't know, definitely in the 90s and early 2000s, but I think we should move away from it, because at least from my high school experience and from what I observed from others, it's just not really the case. Although I did have a group in high school, but it's not so concrete and it wasn't so homogenous, you know? Today, or this evening, my grandparents are coming to stay for a week to visit while my brother has his graduation. I only found out they were coming a couple of days ago, so with these recipes, I will have like pretty much done all the cooking I want to do, experimental wise. You know, I can obviously do it while they're here. I just find my like personal space and like elbow room decreases by like 50% because my wonderful grandmother hovers and asks what I'm doing, which means she's interested, which is obviously a positive thing. I guess I'm just I find cooking quite relaxing and a solitary thing, and I don't actually like talking about food that much. Okay, well, you're like, what? But I don't know. The itty bitty details, not so much. I just enjoy the part where I finish it, I show it in front of people's faces, they eat it, they enjoy it, they go, I go, and we move on. So I don't know how this vlog will turn out with so many more people in the house and less time to pick up the camera. But at the end of this week, on Saturday, I'm seeing The Cursed Child. End of July, when that's happening in Melbourne. I cannot wait. We're seeing it in like the 2 parts on the same day. One session's at like 2 and the next at 7:30. So we're gonna have a delicious dinner. Hopefully it's Smith and Daughters in between, because it's in the Melbourne city centre, and that's near Brunswick Street, where all the fab vegan restaurants are, or a lot of them. Because my grandparents are staying, they needed my double doona, so I switched to another, and needed lots of different blankets. I'll show you this is going somewhere. And so I used what would have been my great grandmother's like old woolen stripy woolen blanket we've had for yonks, and look at this like assemblage of grandma made patchwork quilts, vintage fabrics. Definitely a dream of my teenage self, and before you know it, I've achieved it. And it's a slow achievement, acquiring things slowly. It's kind of the best way to do it, I think, sometimes. But yeah, definitely a dream of my younger self to have just a sort of mixed, matched, hodgepodge, wonderful sort of vintage home or bedding, clothing style or aesthetic. And I've done it. I know this is on the verge of being excessive, because it seems like I've acquired so many clothes lately, but it's just because it's holidays and that's generally what I do because I have more time. And so I have one more thing to show you if you're interested. As it's clear with this outfit, I sort of dress in like colours, like I've never watched this and don't plan to, and not a fan, but like 50 Shades of Purple, or like 50 Shades of Blue. So I saw this jumper, it's that brand, Private Eyes, made in USA. I think that's vintage, I'm guessing 90s-ish, or at least early 2000s. Jumper that goes really nicely with jeans, and when I'm wearing blue in a dozen different shades and textures, so it's a good one. Super great condition. It's acrylic, but it sort of feels like wool or cotton. Anyway, and it's got a turtleneck, so extra tick from me. I'm going to tie up the remainder of my postcard sets with string now. I'm gonna watch an episode of Queer Eye while I do it, or as much of one that I get through, and I was gonna listen with headphones. However, anyone done the thing where there's scissors in the vicinity and so is your earphone cord, and you just give it a little snip? Definitely done that, and I did it on like one of the strings that come down into the main one, and only like 15 minutes later was like, there's just not really any sound coming through this one. But learnt my lesson. Hey Honeybunches, oh I'm so tired. My mum's gone to get my grandparents, so this might be the last time I pick up the camera for a bit to chat. Hello my beautiful boy, hello. Just had to rejudge my hair because it was looking so flat. This vlog might be good, this is what I want to say, before they arrive. This vlog might be good for those wondering what to make for family members who have more meat and veg palates. It's always a bit tricky when they come because not only do they not eat a lot of the foods that we eat a lot of, being like cauliflower and pulses, they're really sensitive to them when we do even like cook them in ways which we think might be really suited to their palates. So it makes them really gassy and they comment on it. It's kind of like this subliminal hint of could you not have a meal based around cauliflower? Speaking of which, I'm making cauliflower fritters tonight, so I'm sort of just ignoring that. In addition to that, anything that's like you don't eat with a fork and a knife is also interesting. We did tacos a couple of times. Could have gone better. The hand holding element did throw them a bit. So yeah, I've thought of a few things and we'll make sure I remember to film at least the finished product when I do. Hey Honeybunches, guess whose birthday it is today? It's this little man. You're 14, Harvey. Loving it, living it. All my family, I know this will sound quite weird, have gone to my brother's graduation. As in my mum, dad and my brother obviously, and then my grandparents who were staying. There wasn't enough tickets for me to go, slash they're really boring. I'll see the pictures and you know, I think all the food I've cooked for him etc is plenty of support, more than I could show through trying to fake my way through being enthusiastic about showing up. I sound really mean, but just graduations. He's already had one, this is another one, so I'm giving it a miss. Anyway, I say all that because I have a house that's all quiet, just the birthday boy and me, and I'm going to cook two things. I'm going to try and perfect a pancake recipe, and I'm also going to try and veganize a recipe I saw on Food 52's YouTube channel for Richard Sachs' chocolate cloud cake. It's essentially like a souffle with a lot of, where's a picture of it? Come on. Like whipped cream on top. It's like a crumbly moist cake thing, and then I'm gonna do like coconut cream, and it's flourless, so the gluten-free factor is super easy because it's already done, and I just have to hope the aquafaba and vegan butter will replace the butter and eggs. So fingers crossed, because that would be so delish for a bit of a different chocolate cake. I'm gonna pour myself a glass of kombucha and get cooking. I'll be super surprised if that works out, because the actual recipe has egg yolks as well as egg whites in it, and aquafaba, as far as I'm aware, only really covers the egg white part. I mean, that might sound super obvious because of what it looks like, but you know, I don't exactly know the chemistry behind it. So anyway, fingers crossed it turns into something edible. I don't know if you can see it, but it's flowing over the sides, so that's not a good sign. Okay, so while I'm internally really gutted and not loving this, I guess the only thing to do is laugh about it. This just did not work out. Where'd it go, Harvey? I really hate wasting food. I really hate when things don't work out, especially when they have 2 flippin' blocks of chocolate in them. Who knows, that might set and actually taste like a dream, but definitely wasn't a success. Aquafaba just doesn't have enough calories, body, and substance to it to be a cake, I think, is the upshot of that. Dang it, I was really hoping that would work, but in hindsight, which always comes with 2020 vision, like it never was gonna work. Okay, Harvey, dinner coming soon. I've mixed the batter that was just sort of sitting there looking a bit funky until smooth, and it's looking like a ganache, so hopefully it just turns into that and I can use it up that way. Oh, food flops, oh the joy of food recipe testing. But I'm filming something else for a video and they're turning out great, so not a shitty afternoon. I'm really into, at the moment, draining beans, heating up a glug of olive oil in a pan, popping the cannellini beans generally, and not touching them much, but just letting them crisp up. I first remember learning that from like Jamie Oliver, but back then we didn't have like non-stick pans, so they would never crisp up the beans. They would just like turn into mush, and I was like, I don't really understand. But I crisp them up and then I stir through a little bit of pesto at the end, and they're just so tasty. Like, but you seriously don't feel like you're just eating beans because they're too tasty for that. But yeah, they're great as a super quick filling dinner component if you need one. Oh my god, I'm about to watch the next Handmaid's Tale episode, and I watched that on SBS On Demand, which is the channel you watch it on in Australia, and FYI, 2 of my favourite films are on there. This Beautiful, Fantastic and Pincushion, which if you're a long-ish time watcher / you've seen my This Beautiful, Fantastic but Vegan, you'll know that they're 2 of my absolute favourite films out of 3, so if you're in Australia, they're there for free. How cool. Hey Honeybunches, oh, It's Sunday and yesterday was such a wonderful day seeing part 1 and 2 of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I'm in Melbourne if you're like, what? It is showing here with an Australian cast. In between parts 1 and 2 we went to Smith and Daughters and had dinner. The whole second half of the day into the evening doing that was just glorious, and I didn't film or document any tiny little bit of it. You go there and like everyone has their phones out, they're photographing every little tiny thing that they can, and I was just more than happy to soak it all in and have it being documented in here, and not feeling like I had to collect a certain amount of stuff to put in a vlog. I know that might sound a little annoying. I have a YouTube channel, I elected to do that, but like I would want you guys to just enjoy moments you just want to enjoy, so I'm sure you understand. But oh my gosh, it was so good. The stagecraft is like out of this world. All 4 parts are glorious. I actually probably enjoyed like enjoyed at least the first half of the first part, just because you were sort of getting used to the versions of the characters and getting accustomed to the son of Draco and the son of Harry being Albus and Scorpius. But oh my gosh, it's so good, and I won't say many spoilers because obviously there's a whole keep the secrets thing about it, as there should be, because you want everything to be, you know, not tainted by expectations or waiting for things. But yeah, I will say that like the stagecraft is out of this world. They'd redone the Princess Theatre, which is where it was, and the detailing in just the theatre that you sit in is like Wizarding World, Harry themed, but really tastefully. Like for example, the light fittings have like little golden dragons holding the bulb, and the carpet has H's in it, and so does the wallpaper. It was super funny too. All the characters you get to see. Yeah, couldn't recommend it more if you get the chance to go. I was going with my family, mum, dad and my brother and myself, and we booked, I don't think you're meant to do this, but like restricted tickets through the one account. It's quite a stressful booking process, all worth it though. So we were like dotted around the stage, and even though we had restricted seats which were far cheaper than the ones like a couple of seats along from us in the various places we were in that theatre, it was still super immersive and phenomenal. There were some bits I couldn't quite see, but that was like 0.5% of it, you know. I start back at uni tomorrow, so I will sign off this vlog and hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this finds you doing super well. Bye!